Well, it's so funny with Marsha. When I came to Pride Foundation, um, I think Marsha didn't think that I quite got it still, and not and or that I was a person that wanted to get it, and I'm not even quite sure why. It's just we just seemed really wooden together. And I remember one evening, and I don't know if you'll want to put this in the film, but saying to Marsha, we were at some benefit or another, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Marsha, what a babe!" And strong Marsha went, and I think we were friends after that. She probably wouldn't remember that, probably deny it, but.
That's great.
Very famous Jeff Hedgepeth, graduate from Princeton. Thesis: Homosexual Repression in a Pluralist Society, April 16th, 1973. Right, there's lots of crazy stuff in here. John and I are very big fans of Divine. We went to a movie the other day at the film festival, and it wasn't this movie. It was called I Am Divine. It was about Divine's life. And there was polyester and such, and we saved the odorama sheet. But one of our favorite things is soon after we met, we went to see Divine on stage in Women Behind Bars. And we just fell in love. I think we went back a couple times. We'd take people there, and anyway.
So that's the original playbill?
That's the original playbill.
Awesome. That's Divine.
And then over the years, I have done, I think, 2 or 3 gay games, and I even have my Portland Gay Games shirt. I ran the marathon. And then, which one is this from? This one was San Francisco. Let me think now. So this was in 1986. I ran the marathon there. It was just thrilling kind of coming into the arena, having finished the marathon and having all those cheers. And then Seattle, it's Gay Games, and there's my jacket. We went up to Vancouver for that. And I think this was the one where I finished the marathon and I had John waiting about a quarter of a mile from the end, and he handed me a plastic martini glass and a cigarette, and I crossed the finish line with that. But the proudest thing that I have in here, and let me find that before suddenly you say cut, is when John and I were married up in Vancouver 10 years ago. A friend of ours said, "Would you mind? You guys have been together over 25 years now. Would you mind if I got arranged to have a reporter go with you?" And so the reporter came with us, and we thought that we would be buried in kind of some insight page. And then the next day we get up, and at that point you had to go to an internet cafe. And we go to the internet cafe, and we're tootling around, and I'm like, "Holy shit, John, we're on the front page!" And so here we are with our poor little dog that we drugged because we didn't want it kind of driving the whole ceremony crazy. And it looked to me like, when we looked at this photograph, there's John, and then here I am and my friend Brad and his husband Dennis. But it looked like John had been captured by bald space aliens because the 3 of us are bald. And we didn't even coordinate our outfits.
That's
and
great.
So, anyway. So
Where in Vancouver, you said? So where was this? At
so
the
this
Arch?
is in Stanley Park.
Okay.
And it's in front of, that kind of famous little restaurant. Because we had an entire restaurant looking out on us. And even though we brought witnesses up, the marriage commissioner asked if we would get married along with some other people because they didn't have witnesses and we could all be witnesses for each other. So we got married with this couple from Alberta, and they had this giant tall drag queen with them, and the lesbian couple from Texas. Anyway, it was pretty special. Should I keep going?
Sure.
Okay.
That's great though, making the front of the PI like.
I know. It was so funny because we started getting all of these emails, and people are going, "Oh my God, I was on the bus, and every time we passed something, I could see you two." But when we thought, "Oh crap!" When we get home, our telephone line is just going to be crammed with all kinds of crap from people. And we arrived home, and all that we found were 2 messages, both of them from, I don't know why I think they're suburban, but from women, straight women who were crying and so sad that we had to leave our country in order to go and get married. And then in the newspaper, there was just one negative comment, and it was that they didn't see why this should be on the front page. Why isn't it in entertainment or something? That was it. Go Seattle.
Right.
And I'm not going to go through them, but been in SGN lots for a variety of things, including gardening.
Gardening?
Yeah, I was the year 2000 Gardener of the Year, according to the Seattle Times, the Flower and Garden Show, and the Arboretum. And I won this giant contest, and we won a trip to England and the Chelsea Flower and Garden Show, and I've been in lots of magazines.
Now weed is legal, so you can do that.
I know.
out in
I've
public.
been in lots of magazines. These are flowers that I grew. So anyway, I've got that part of me.
A gay guy that likes flowers?
I am a pretty damn good volunteer. In fact, in what year was that?
2004.
2004, I was the Volunteer of the Year for Camp 10 Trees, which is a camp that is, 1 week is focused on the kids of LGBTQ parents, and the next week is focused on youth who are beginning to identify as LGBTQ. So anyway, yeah.
Well, it's a fantastic program.
Yeah, it really is. And what else is over here? I even made the, yes, thank you, Shaun.
You're welcome.
I even made the Aberdeen, Washington, what's it called? The Daily World with Marsha Botzer.
Yes.
And, oh God, she'll hit me, I can't remember her name. Sarah Elward. And this was a Pride Foundation, and it was the day that Walmart decided to add LGBTQ, not LGBTQ, probably just LG, protections to their employee policy. And I had a great story about Marsha, because this was actually the day after, because there was this rally. Oh, it was the same day as Sodomy Day. What is that? When the Supreme Court overturned all the sodomy. And so there was this big rally, and Marsha was there, and right before we'd come, Walmart had contacted Pride Foundation, because Pride Foundation had filed a shareholder activism motion with Walmart to do this. And they called to say that, okay, we'll do it. And so I walked up behind Marsha, and this is the second time that I heard Marsha giggle, and I went, "Marsha, Walmart caved." And she just went,
It's a big win.
That was a big win.
Yeah.
And then, and here I'm really pleased with this photograph, because it's me, and oh my God, look at the hair on Ed Murray. So it's me and Governor Lowry and Booth Gardner and Jamie Peterson, I assume, is in here somewhere, and gay leaders who were invited to meet with Chris Gregoire very early in her first term, just to talk about stuff. And she is not in this photograph because somebody pulled the fire alarm. And so there was chaos.
And you all got together for
and
a
somehow we got together, but we never got the governor in for a photograph.
Wow.
And there's one more in here. Oh, here we're talking about Capitol Hill. There's even a quote from me. I don't even remember what this article is about. the people who are attracted to Capitol Hill or who have stayed in the Capitol Hill are people who are very used to gay people. It's just a very easy life here, according to Jeff Hedgepeth, gay man.
Capitol Hill, too diverse to be a gay ghetto residence.
I didn't say that, but
that was not me.
that was not me.
That was the headline writer.
And then poor John, my poor John. Oh my God, you're gonna love this. My poor John is such an introvert, and he's always being pulled into stuff. And so this was an article in the University of Washington newspaper. I assume it's about gay stuff, because there we are with our dog holding hands. But back in 1969, the year I graduated from high school, some idiot school person at Wingate High School decided that women could not wear pants to school. And so Jeff Hedgepeth and two of his friends started wearing a skirt to school. And
what year again? 1969?
Yeah.
Must have went over great.
It was, we were, we were popular, so we could get away with it.
Aha.
Okay, the wrong person might not have been able to get away with it.
What girls think of guys in skirts.
And I had pretty good legs back then. Actually, I still have really good legs.
The headline under it says, "Percy spoiled again."
And this may be the lesson. Back in 1991, KCTS TV was trying to decide whether or not to air a segment, a movie called Tongues Untied by Marlon Riggs. And it was about black gay life, but there was sex in there. And they were trying to figure out whether or not to air it. And so they brought together me and all kinds of people. McKinney, the reverend from, I'm forgetting the church, to kind of have a little focus group on what to do. And there wasn't anything hateful that they said, but they clearly were uncomfortable with having any part of this movie shown. So in the end, KCTS, I think, showed it at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I got a lot of folks who, so I appeared in, the University of Washington paper, I appeared here. And I think back now and I wonder how some of these folks would react now. I have the feeling that they would not be so opposed to this movie. And I just think that this is an example of how the community has grown. So.
And without, clearly your negotiations were civil and...
They were very civil, but you could tell they were really uncomfortable. And I don't even think it was necessarily the nakedness and the sex that was in the movie or implied in the movie. I think they were just uncomfortable about having an image of black gay men being shown on television.
1991,
Right.
Yeah, well.
Right.
And what, July, so that's Rodney King riots?
Oh, I don't remember that.
That's
Your brain is younger than mine.
You know what's interesting, what I noticed about this? You're talking about this one movie, and there's controversy about playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And look what they're showing that played. Violence. It was it's called a powerhouse movie. And I agree. It was a fantastic film, and it was a portrayal of a very real part of America back then. But isn't that a very interesting...
But this is as well.
Yeah. It's like, controversy, Boys in the Hood. Like, it's somehow better than, wow.
Yeah.
The portrayal of black men on film was Boys in the Hood for so long.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I could pull out more stuff, but...
I think that's
No, that's perfect.